than they have. At any rate, we are welcoming all to the joint council special meeting and budget committee meeting of Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. It's conducted today in the very Baldwin Room at 104 Main Street. If anyone doesn't know what that is, that's the Cheshire Public Library. And we thank the library, its staff and directors and all those good people. They're grinning. They're very happy we're here. It's a very well-appointed room. I noticed the motorized drapes or whatever you call them and the screen that goes up and down. It's all great. And what we're going to do, I'm going to introduce our budget chairman after we do the roll and the pledge to basically talk about more or less where we may be on the budget. We're not terribly far along. I don't expect this to be a long session. I don't know if any member of the public is here.
Yeah.
So, well, are you here for the budget?
Library.
No.
No, just
No.
Library.
Yeah, you're a library person. So here we go. So, and Jeff D'Onofrio's here. He finally discovered where our library is. He's our town attorney. Welcome, Jeff. Mrs. Belton, if you call the roll.
Mr. Slocum.
Here.
Mr. Walsh. Mr. Burry.
Present.
Mr. James.
Here.
Mr. Mylon.
Here.
Ms. Nichols. Here. Ms. Pavano. Mr. Talbot.
Here.
Mr. Gilliver.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Let us raise for the pledge and right over there. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So with that, Mr. Bowery, if you just want to give a brief summary of where we're
Sure.
at within reason.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Briefly, the council has reviewed all the departments that the town manager has presented. His recommended budget, he was looking at a mill rate of about 1.28% increase. It left us a lot of policy decisions that we needed to make. We spent considerable time looking at them. We have some adjustments that we're discussing, and we discussed at a meeting last Thursday in quite a bit of detail. So that actually would be a good meeting to see if you were interested. The public meeting was filmed and everything. We're looking at some potential for revenue enhancements, maybe using a little more of the surplus than the town manager recommended, maybe a small amount of the available ARPA funds, and maybe some increases in expenditures for capital non-recurring. He recommends $1 million in that, and that's been the number for a while. And I've asked us to think about considering maybe raising that to $1.5 million so that we borrow less money. We pay a little bit more upfront, but then we borrow less, so we save the interest payments and all that. And it's a good way to go if we have the ability to afford to do that. But there's also some adjustments to some of the budgets that we looked at. The town engineer was one that we were considering adding an assistant engineer for part of a year to get that rolling and on board, dovetail with the new engineer. We've had some updated debt service numbers, I think. We've also had some other departments that asked for some changes in where they would spend their money to get a little bit additional clerk help and maybe some other ways they could find the money to spend. And we've looked at the Board of Ed because obviously at $81 million, they're the largest part of the budget. We talked about some retirements that they may know of, so we may have some savings there. I had a meeting just today, which I will update the council on, with the superintendent and the, is he assistant superintendent? Mr. Massiano. CEO, thank you. Okay, COO. Yeah. And we don't have much movement. We don't have any movement we can make in terms of one item that we talked about last week that was an open question. Is there available funds from the money that the Board of Ed gave to the food service account a couple of years ago? If they're building their funds back up, can they take some of that back? No, you cannot. With the grants and all involved, they cannot claw that back. So that's out as a potential way of saving a little bit of money here. And then the other item was the medical benefits, and timing was not very good because our call was at 1 o'clock, and at about 10:30 this morning, the town manager had received the update for March's numbers, and they were $500,000 more for the month than what was expected. So that kind of takes a lot of the wind out of the sail of maybe we can save a little bit of money in that area. But we're still looking at, generally, we're trying to see what we can do to cut the mill rate recommended increase in half to go along with, the town manager did a great job tightening up a lot of budgets and using funds appropriately and all. and just left us the policy decisions. And so we're looking at continuing to show that we do a good job managing the town funds and that we're trying to keep the mill rate as reasonable as possible. And we're looking at, as I said, trying to cut significantly from the recommended increase, but not hurt services as much as possible. So that in a nutshell, a long nutshell, but a large, that was where we are at the moment. Next meeting of the budget committee, which will be a full council meeting, of course, because everybody likes to participate, will be next Thursday at 6 somewhere. We don't know where yet, only because of the, it'll be on TV, but we don't know specifically where. We have a wonderful host tonight. Maybe we'll be welcome back again. That would be great, but we will see.
I think it'll be in Chambers.
Oh, we'll be back?
Chambers
Partly
and
in.
your room, yeah, the part
Okay.
came in, the elevator.
Elevator is back working as of about an hour.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that update, Mr. Bowery. Are there any members of the public that may have a question on what we've done thus far? Seeing none, I will close this public hearing.
And would we go right into the budget
Yes,
committee
we
meeting?
will. We'll adjourn as this, and you will open up your meeting. We will just stay seated.
All right, so then I will call the budget committee meeting to order, noting attendance has not changed, right, Mrs. Milton? So we are all present, Mr. Jakes, Mr. Marlowe, and myself.
We have one addition. Ms. Pavano has a right.
Oh, that's great. On the pledge, we just did that, and items 3 through 18 are acceptance of gifts, and our usual custom is to review these and make a recommendation to the full council. Mr. Jakes or Mr. Mylone, what's your pleasure?
Motion to move forward.
All right,
Second.
second, all right. Are there any that we want to discuss in more detail? Again, the community has been very generous with thousands of dollars in gifts, and actually $400,000 worth of gifts here from Elam Park alone. So there are quite generous gifts, and please make sure you do have a chance to review the detail, the 8 or 10 items that each chief has asked to expend from those accounts, because this is our approval of that tonight. So, any further questions or comments?
Nope.
Seeing none, sensing you're ready to vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passes unanimous. I already did 19, if you'll allow me not to have to repeat what I just said in the public forum, and therefore I will ask for adjournment of the budget committee. Seconded by Mr. Mylone. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, Mr. Chairman, you are now back. ready
Thank
for
you
your
so
full-
much. We didn't even have to rearrange the furniture.
That's good.
It's excellent. Would somebody remove the dogs from the, no, I'm kidding. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, we now are commencing the,
We have to wait.
actually, we have to wait 10 minutes.
We have to
Yeah,
wait
we
10
do.
minutes.
Gosh.
You
Being
guys
late
will
was
wait
bad,
for
but it's
fish.
also being bad again. Okay, we can twiddle our thumbs and admire the well-managed